There have been many significant highlights, but I would think that the ones that had most of an impact on me as well as the community would be the negotiation of the Duke Power Adjustment and Supply Agreement, which takes us into the 2030s, the introduction and implementation of the solar farm, for which we are especially grateful for the creativity of the staff in offering the community alternative energy sources. And of course, our ongoing work in combating and trying to mitigate the chemicals that are known as forever chemicals, the PFASs and all of the other alphabet soup chemicals that most communities have to deal with. But our staff here has been especially aggressive in collaborating with communities downstream to petition our legislature as well as the national offices to make manufacturers and other entities that dump chemicals into water that eventually becomes our drinking water source. They've been especially aggressive in trying to get some accountability. We all want to have sustained, quality, reliable power. We want options of alternative energy sources, and we certainly want to keep a watchdog status on those things that might impact our drinking water. It is most important, I believe, that the community recognize how much the Public Works Commission does for the city and for those who live in the county in terms of what impact this utility has on their everyday lives. People in the county as well as people in the city, they shop in Fayetteville. They drive through downtown Fayetteville. PWC takes care of the lighting in downtown at no cost to the city. That's a big win for the city. When we look at our gateways into the city of Fayetteville, PWC contributes by providing the water at no cost to the city. Those are two biggies. Then when we go into a community now, and I give great credit to former Commissioner Wade Fowler, who really persuaded his colleagues on the board to take up this as a practice that would benefit all citizens. When the Public Works Commission service people go into a community and do work on the streets, we used to do patches on the street wherever they worked. Now we do overlays. That's a significant savings for the city, and it's certainly a great aesthetic for persons living in that neighborhood. I would like to think that if I've had any impact at all, it is because of capability and a willingness to serve and a change of mindset that may have been nudged by a community change of mindset. When diversity happens, it does not happen in a vacuum. There has to be a collective group of people who believe that while there may have been equal opportunities, there may not have been equitable opportunities. And I'll try to explain that by sharing with you a cartoon I saw years ago. Well, the opportunity to walk to the fence was equal, but it was not equitable. So when I think of diversity, I think of providing an equitable opportunity. A lot of the local business people that I had spoken with said it's very difficult to do business with PwC prior to me coming on the board. And my question was always, why? And they would answer in sometimes confusing ways. I hope, if anything, that is a legacy of me serving on the commission, is that the procurement department at Public Works is more creative and inclusive in their thinking about what makes an organization strong in procurement and purchasing goods and services. So I challenged them to look at ways that we could not only encourage, but that we could actually put in place things that would help our local small business people be real potential bidders that might win awards. Sometimes you have to unbundle a big project. Don't just say it's too big for that small business, but the organization has to ask itself, what can we do to make this something palatable and achievable for our local small businesses? The federal government does it all of the time. The state does it all of the time. And by that very nature, they build capacity. So we put in place a small business supplier program. We put in place a small business industry day where we actually bring small businesses to PwC. We set up a computer lab. We brought in people from the state to help them get certifications in various areas so that they would be able to learn how to do business. And then we put in place, in collaboration with Fayetteville Technical Community College, a linesman program so we could grow our own linemen. Our linemen were having to travel up the highway to another city to take classes, get certification, and then we would lose those persons to larger power companies. I am pleased to say that out of every graduating class from the lineman program at Fayetteville Technical Community College, we've been able to hire those very persons. We are building capacity. We are building our own. We are creating jobs where the money stays in the Fayetteville community, and we are retaining residents, young residents with families, which is so important. I wish my colleagues well. I know they'll do a great job for the organization. The public should know that this is not an easy service to perform. It is taxing. It requires a lot of technical reading. It requires one to be nimble. It requires a lot of collaboration. And it requires, more than anything, a respect for staff knowledge, but retaining the notion that the commissioners are ultimately responsible for the policies. So what you see as an organization becomes the policy and the policies that have been enacted by those 4 people who sit as commissioners.